Example 2, one side of a rectangular plate is 6 inches longer than the other. So once again, we're dealing with a rectangle. We have one side 6 inches longer than the other side. So I'm going to draw a side and a longer side, like so. Again, it's a rectangle, so we have 4 right angles. Length times width is the area formula. One side is 6 inches longer than the other side. So again, if I let this side be some length, I'm going to call it W. This is 6 inches longer. Longer is an addition statement, so W plus 6. So if this is 3, 3 plus 6 is 9. If this is 10, 10 plus 6 is 16. So it's just a real simple structure there. The total area is 216 square inches. So very much like the last problem, they tell us the area of this rectangle. We've been able to use the same letter to represent the dimensions based on the relationship between the sides. Area of a rectangle is length times width, so W times W plus 6 in this case. That should equal the actual area, which is 216. The only difference between this one and the previous one now is if I simplify W squared plus 6W by distributing the W through this parentheses like so, that gets us a quadratic equation with a linear term. So the last problem had a W squared at a number. This has a 6W linear term in it, which now we have to solve using the quadratic formula. Remember, with the quadratic formula, the first priority of that is everything equals 0. So do not apply the quadratic formula until you get to that point where everything equals 0. A is the number in front of W squared, which is 1. B is the number in front of W, which is positive 6. And C is the constant, which is negative 216. And just like I showed you before with the quadratic formula, the difficult part of it is B squared minus 4AC. So if I focus on that part, B squared minus 4 times A times C. B squared, 6 squared, 4AC. 6 squared is 36. 4 times 1 times 216, that's 864. And notice though that we have minus, it's always subtracted, B squared minus 4AC, but minus being multiplied by negative changes it to addition. So again, the formula says to subtract, the multiplication changes it to addition. That happens quite often. 864 plus 36 equals 900. So W, because that's the letter we're working with here, equals, I'm going to put my quadratic formula structure in. Negative B goes here, which is negative 6. B squared minus 4AC goes there, which is 900. And 2A goes on the bottom. A is 1, so 2 times 1 is 2. So again, very simple to apply the quadratic formula. Once we found this number, change a sign, double a number, those two are easy. The square root of 900 happens to be 30. So we need to get both answers by both adding and subtracting on top. So negative 6 plus 30 is 24. That's over 2. And negative 6 minus 30 is negative 36. That's also over 2. So the answer is either positive 12 or negative 18. Once again, W represents the length of a side in a rectangle. Lengths of sides should be positive. So even though negative 18 is a solution to this quadratic equation we created, this is not useful for the sake of the problem we're working. So W equals 12 is the only answer that makes sense. How long is each side? So W is equal to 12. W plus 6 is equal to 12 plus 6, which is 18. So it's a 12-inch by 18-inch rectangle.